Okay. Well, I'm growing older and more wrinkled, and yeah, I don't know what else, but I'm growing older by the minute, and get closer to the end. So that's what we're going to talk about today. Which some people don't like talking about it. I don't mind. But first, we have a couple of things here. What is this here that I was looking at? Social media outrage as tourists blatantly urinates on Pattaya Beach. Mayor prepares to take action. I think it's a tourist. Showing male tourists. Okay, so it's plural. The video has the caption, "Swimmers swim and urinators urinate." This was on Facebook, popular Pattaya Facebook group, which I don't know what it is, but it's got over 200,000 members on there. And many of the Thais are outraged. I don't know why you would stand right on the edge of the beach where the water's coming up and you just stand there and take a piss. That's pretty stupid. Stupid people deserve consequences. I mean, you can't walk over to a restroom. You can't walk over to a tree across the street. I mean, even walking over to a tree across the street. Listen, there's been a few times in my time here in Thailand where I had to go so bad and I couldn't wait to find a bathroom. And man, I mean, I was like going in the back of a building and, you know, behind a tree, whatever. And I understand that happens sometimes. But most of the time, you know, you go to the restroom. You don't go right out in the open on the beach. Beach is dirty enough already. The urination occurred late at night or early in the morning on September 17th, likely after the individuals have been drinking. So, let's see. If you smoke a joint, does that mean you're going to go and take a piss on the edge of the water? Wait a minute. No, if you drink a bunch of beer, then you're going to go do that. So, here it is again. Alcohol is more of a problem than weed. A local seafood vendor criticized that such behavior is unacceptable and advised that restaurants are available nearby. Meanwhile, Pattaya Mayor Mr. Puramase Nampichit has been informed of the incident and is preparing to take legal action against the tourists involved. The city plans to enforce regulations under the Cleanliness Act, as such actions can negatively impact cleanliness and the city's ever-present tourism image. Now, I hate to tell you this, but there are other things that are far worse than pissing in the ocean. But pissing in the ocean, just standing there right on the edge of the ocean and taking a leak is pretty stupid. In a related story, a Pattaya boat crew member went viral in August, you may remember this, for disgustingly defecating in Pattaya Bay. Basically hung his ass over the edge of the boat and took a dump. The man apologized for the incident after receiving multiple serious legal charges. Okay, here's the second guy. They have a photo of the second guy. Just whipped it out, decided to take a leak. These things happen. What about the sewage going in the ocean? Well, yeah, that's a thing. I mean, you know, you can be out in the middle of the ocean and you got to take a dump. Sometimes you got to do it. What are you going to do? Where are you going to go? I understand. You know, but like taking a leak on water's edge is just not acceptable. All right, let's go on here. We only got a couple things here. Thai government tweaks guidelines on latest visas. Tourists entering Thailand with a visa exempt 60 days, the vast majority must watch their steps when they are not sightseeing. An initial announcement by the Tourist Authority of Thailand last July mentioned that ad hoc or urgent work could be undertaken for up to 15 days, provided the tourists had notified the Department of Labor. Come on, nobody's going to do that. Examples given were repairing machinery, auditing accounts, and inspecting products. I gotta say, this whole work thing, I understand you don't want to take a Thai's job. Okay, well, just about anything that can be done by Thais. I hate to say that. So basically, you're gonna take somebody's job. Now, getting away from that, I would say maybe what they should do is have a set number of people that can get a job here, and that's it. They don't want any more. I mean, listen, the Burmese are down at the market. I go to the market every once a week or so, and the Burmese are there, and I wonder, do they have papers? Are they legal? I kind of wonder this. I sort of doubt it. Let's see here. Well, awaiting clarification is the ETA, or Electronic Travel Authorization, which next year will require all visa-exempt travelers. I thought it was December. To seek, wait a minute. All visa-exempt travelers, okay. To seek permission in advance of their journey. Once this database is integrated with that overseeing the issue of visas, a state government aim, there will be no significant difference. Everyone will be checked on the same database for past criminal convictions and or deportation from Thailand, as well as for Interpol warrants. The visa overhaul, I don't know what they're talking about here, also gives an opportunity for the Immigration Bureau to influence the upcoming bureaucracy. There are so many agencies involved in publicity about visas. Tourism Authority of Thailand, Board of Investment, the Cabinet, Department of Labor, etc., that it's often forgot that the actual implementation is performed by immigration officers at, I don't forget that, at airports and borders. So far, the Bureau has been strictly silent. That's it. So I don't know what kind of changes they're talking about here. They're just, you know, this is par for the course. Now, Thailand is to boost borrowing by 8% to 78 billion to spur growth in the country starting October, to aid economic growth. I thought that's what the digital wallet was for. It's to spur growth. About 1.1 trillion baht, well, 41% of the total 78 billion will be fresh borrowing to mainly finance the budget deficit, while the rest has been earmarked for refinancing and restructuring of existing debt, said the people, who declined to be identified. This is on Yahoo Finance. Let me see here. The government had targeted a 7.6% increase in borrowing for the current fiscal year. There's a need for, the Prime Minister, Paetongtarn Shinawatra, has highlighted the need for an urgent economic stimulus in her policy announcement last week. Apparently, you know, Thailand is lagging behind its neighbors, only 1.9% growth, which I talked about before. You know, they're just going on and on here. I don't see what they're talking about. Story continues. You know, they're talking about, oh, she's the youngest prime minister and all this other stuff, but they're not talking about what they said, which there's going to be the government plans to raise spending by 4.2% in the next fiscal year, with the budget deficit projected at 866 billion baht. I don't see this where they're talking about, they just say that the government has targeted a 7.6% increase. It doesn't say who, what department, it doesn't say anything like that. So, anyway, That's really all I got for news. I don't want to go over too much news today. Now, let me see here. Aging as an expat in Thailand involves considerations regarding healthcare, legalities, and cultural attitudes towards death. Here's a breakdown. We're going to get into it, but as someone just said, I don't remember who it is. Let me see here. Thai Theo. The Thais don't particularly like talking about death. I don't think many people really do. Some cultures, I think they go ahead and they talk about it. But what I was interested in, I saw some YouTube video by a nurse, and she was talking about how what is this? Seek advance. So is it a visa or not? I don't know. The ETA is not finalized yet. So whatever, you can just come right in like you used to. Until they say it's final, it's been published in the Royal Gazette, you can just come in however you want. Now, I don't particularly think people like to talk about death very often, but what I will say, 2 for 1 today. Cold brew, and I don't really like it. Not my speed. This is just a tea. Very good. That's good. What was I going to say? No, that would not be good. That would not be good. Now, I just got back my visa for Vietnam, and actually it was my fault, but I was denied twice. Now, fortunately, they just let me correct it. The first time I didn't put my middle name. I don't know why I didn't do that. And the second time I had to put the hotel address, which I don't remember doing that the last time. And then today, yesterday I got the visa back. Well, it wasn't the visa. It's an email back from the visa department, and it said go and look and search the menu, blah blah blah. Go in and look and see. It said approved. So then you download it. You got to print it out. So I'll print a couple of them out. That way I have copies of the Vietnam visa. I mean, granted they do it pretty quickly. It's within a day or two. But I can't see, I don't know why Thailand would change that and make an ETA. I don't know why they would do that. So whatever they want to do, they're going to do, and we just have to, we're along for the ride, just like with that 300 baht thing they're talking about. We're along for the ride. Good morning, everybody, wherever you may be. Good morning around the world. We are in Bangkok, Thailand, where I've been for a long, long time. 3 decades. Yes, many years. Now, I know a lot of people don't particularly like talking about death, but we'll talk about growing old. And I saw this video, this nurse talking about people dying and what happens when people, they really know, like, my time is coming really quickly. It's, unless something that is, something that happens that's tragic, you get in a car accident or something like that, you fall from a cliff. A lot of people, they go to sleep, they just don't wake up. And what this nurse was saying was that over time what happens is older people start to sleep more, which I can attest to. I sleep more than I used to, and I have a feeling I'm going to sleep even more as I get older. Also, You eat less. You start to eat less. You don't need a whole lot of food because your body is slowing down. And then what happens is it triggers your endorphins. This is what she said. Your body releases endorphins, and you don't feel the same aches and pains that you might once have felt. And you start to go to sleep and you wake up and you're like, I feel good. But maybe you only have a couple more days left. And so that's supposedly many people know my time is coming really quickly. Like, I'm going to die in the next few days. I'm going to die within a week. They know that. They have a feeling. And I've been thinking about this, and I always think about death. Not because I'm scared of it. Not because I'm like, oh God, if I die, I try to put things in place so that if I were to die, my kids and my wife would be okay, and everything would be copacetic, I try to do that. But that's not really why. I just think to myself, how's it going to happen? When am I going to go? Am I going to have a massive heart attack and just keel over in the mall? What's going to happen? Am I going to be riding in the back of a taxi? I fall asleep, I just don't wake up? You never know. And it's trying to figure it out is, you can't really figure it out, so it's just a fruitless endeavor. You can't do it. Most of the time, there's no way. Unless maybe you got cancer or something like that, and okay, the end is coming because of this. So I'm always thinking about this. And I don't think it's a bad thing, although maybe it's a little morbid. But I try to think about it because I want to make sure I got my shit together. I feel certain aches and pains. Certain days I wake up and I go, oh my God, I'm in agony. I feel a lot of pain, and I'm like, I just don't feel like moving. But I just go, all right, I got to get up, even if I feel pain, and then I get up, go about my duties, and usually the pain subsides a little bit. And that's why I always think about it. And I always think about, if I'm in pain now, what about in another 10 years? What about in another 20 years? All these 70 and 80-year-olds I see walking around, they're like, they can barely walk. Are these guys, were they, when they were 60 or 62 or 65, were they in pretty good shape, and did they feel like, hey, that'll never be me? How do they feel? And these are the questions in my own head. I see people walk around, I go, God, that guy looks like shit. He's 70, he looks like crap. I hope I never look like him. Two family members have died recently, and it was chaos, no plan. Well, I'm sure my wife would take care of everything quite nicely. And I don't know that it would be chaos. I really don't think there would be chaos. I think she would just keep working. She'd be sad for a while. The kids would still be kids, and they're growing older, so they'll be able to take care of themselves, and that's fine. Who knows? Maybe she'll find another husband. I don't know. She's not that old. I mean, for me, she's not that old. But if I was a 25-year-old guy, I wouldn't be hitting on her. My grandpa lived to 100, although lived a very healthy life, played golf into his 90s. The 70-year-olds who play crap beer and drink every day. They don't look like they will live much longer. Well, that's what I say. And then, sometimes I get headaches and I got aches and pains, and I'm like, God, how long am I going to live? Am I going to make it to 85 or 90? Will I make it that long? Or will I be some guy? I'm 62 now. Will I be some guy? Scott Mallon, YouTuber, former photographer, worked in boxing, dead at 63. I don't know. And I think about it. I mean, hey, if it happens, it happens. I'm not going to be caring when I'm dead what people think about, oh, he died far too young. You die, you die. You're gone. You know. So I doubt I will be thinking about that. But I do wonder, am I going to live to be 100? Are my friends going to live to be 100? Listen, Jono was like 70. I've never had a 70-year-old friend. I live a pretty healthy life. I mean, I eat pretty good. I don't smoke. I don't drink, so that's a big plus. When I do drink, it's very, very seldom. You know, I drink a little wine, which is good for you. I'll drink a couple glasses of wine. Maybe once in a great while, I'll have some tequila. I haven't had tequila in a couple of years now. But once in a while, I'll have a couple of shots. But that's like maybe once a year now, if that. So I think I lead a pretty healthy lifestyle. I mean, I've exercised all my life. I walk a lot. So I think I'm okay. I don't know. You know, some people, listen, sometimes it's just in the cards that you are going to die when you're young. You are going to die when you're old. People, you know, there's people, they smoke, they drink, they do everything. I mean, look at Keith Richards. You know, he's a perfect example of some people they just look at Willie Nelson. You know, you think Willie Nelson doesn't, I wonder if he drinks. I bet you he does. Oh no, he gave up drinking many years ago, but he still does smoke weed. How old is he now? He's getting up there, I can tell you that. He's got to be around, what, 85? Something like 91, holy shit. And he's still out there playing, he's still playing music and doing things, and I think that's probably what keeps him going. If he couldn't play music, he'd probably end up dying. Keith Richards is 80. Willie Nelson is 91. You know, unbelievable. I gotta put my glasses on. I can't read where the shit goes. I'm too old. My dad died at 66. He told me his last check will bounce, but he left me $400. He lied. I don't know, my folks are 83 and like 81. Is she 81? No, I think she's 80. So, you know, whatever. That's fine. 80, 83. Yeah, my father will be 83 in about 2 months. So, you know, and I think they're holding up pretty well. They're active. They can walk on their own. You know, they still drive. They're doing everything. So I like that. That bodes well for me. But this is the kind of thing that people think about. These are the kind of things. Now, the good thing, who knows? Thailand has a well-developed healthcare system, which we talked about, private and public healthcare. And I still think it's pretty important. I know some people don't want to get insurance unless you've got quite a bit of money. And I'm talking about, if you got $20 million, you probably don't need insurance. If you have $2 million, $3 million set aside for medical emergencies, you probably will be all right. But I got to tell you, I know some people. I know one person in particular who had a procedure done, and you wouldn't think that it would be this much, but it was $800,000 in the United States. 800,000. Unfortunately, they were covered. They didn't pay a dime. Now, if they didn't have insurance, they would be bankrupt, or, they'd just be in bad shape. So I think it's pretty good to get the insurance here. And of course, here in Thailand, public health care is affordable, and they provide good service and everything, but they're more crowded. They don't always speak English, and you want to go to a good hospital here, go to a private hospital. Go to a private hospital, and you're going to get more personalized service, but everything's going to cost more. That's the bottom line. It's going to cost more. Wow. Yeah, that's pretty bad. Now, I think in the United States, the age, instead of it increasing, it dropped a little bit. Which is, in a modern country, the size of the United States, you would think, with the wealth of the United States, you would think that would not happen. You would think that they'd be right up at the top. But they're not. Thailand is okay. I forget what the ages are. I got let me see here. I have the data thing here. I forgot what the name of it is. Wasn't it you that told me about that, Aiden? Let me see here. Let's see here. Data report, yeah. .3% of people in Thailand are 65 and over. Now, let me see this here. Facebook users. I don't care about all this stuff. YouTube growth. Instagram growth. TikTok. I don't even care about the social media. Jesus Christ. Snapchat. All right, let me see something. This might just be... All right, let's see here. Okay, here we go. Because this will tell me the age of, the age of the average person. What is this here? This is all about data in the internet here. Let's see here. Population of Thailand 71.85. This is the age. It doesn't. I thought it told me when they died. The average age. I was pretty sure that they did do that. I'm trying to look for it, but. Let's see here. Yeah, I'm not going to keep looking. I'm just going to piss away my time. Honestly, I don't think it's just the food. The food in Japan, or in Okinawa, more specifically, which is where I think the highest life expectancy is. Let me see here. But the food in Japan is not the only reason. It also has to do with community and keeping busy and all these other things. Number one is Hong Kong. Number two is Japan. Hong Kong has an average life expectancy of 85.63. Japan has 84.85. So there you go. But I believe there are many factors. It's not just the food. Now, the food can hasten it, I would say for sure in America. You know, I mean, you see, Jesus Christ. I mean, you know, I go to America, I'm tiny. I'm a little guy. You know, and I'm not a little guy. You know, I'm a pretty beefy guy. But I go to America, man. There's guys there. I'm like, Jesus Christ, this is 350, 400. I'll never forget when I flew on American Airlines. One of the first times I went back to America after being in Thailand. And I flew on American Airlines, and this woman was trying to get her kid into the bathroom. And she wanted to go into the bathroom with her. And the woman couldn't fit through the door. And I'm like, that would be impetus to maybe go on a diet, watch what I eat. I mean, you know, listen, instead of drinking sodas all day, maybe you drink water with a little lime in it, a little lemon in it, or whatever. Once a month, you can have a can of Coke. You would drop weight just from that. So, I don't know. What is this right here? Oh, is this 2023? Let me see. Yeah, Hong Kong, Japan. For males, 81.69 in Japan, 87.74 for females. Holy cow. And for Hong Kong, it's 82.84 and 88.13 for females. So the females are the ones who are, you know, they're living longer. And let's see here. Way down here on the list. Oh my God. Oh my God. Where is it? Ecuador is number 76. Thailand is number 86. Men generally live to be 72, while women live to be 80. But where is the United States? I don't even see them here. Unbelievable. USA, number 55. Unreal. I mean, listen, I understand, you know, people carry weight. They, you know, they're a little bit. I'm look at. All right, I mean, you know, like, there's only one woman I'm looking at. There's 3 women here. They are not that old. They're probably in their 30s. Maybe the one on the left is in her 20s here. And the only one who's really a little bit overweight is the one on the far right, and she's still, her body is rather small. But I will say that here in Thailand, many women and men are overweight. And it's because of KFC, McDonald's, Burger King. I mean, I can't even think of them because I don't go to them. Because I don't want to eat like that. It's bad enough if I make something at home and I'm like, well, this is kind of shitty, but all right, it's decent. But then I go out, you never know. I mean, they're putting slather and stuff with sauce, and you know, it's got so much sugar in it, and I mean, you know, it's just crazy. Usually I tell them, don't put sugar in my stuff. You know, I don't want extra sugar. So that has something to do with, in the United States, I mean, forget about it. I mean, go to the Midwest, or the you know, in the middle of the country. It's crazy. Japanese smoke a lot. I mean, listen, Asians smoke a lot. You know, it's just the way that it goes. I don't know why they do. My kids don't smoke. I think if I smoked, my kids would smoke. But my kids don't smoke. You know. And I hope that they remain non-smokers and that they have kids who are non-smokers. Because that right there will save years off of your life in most cases, or in many cases. Anyway, let's go on here. Okay. When you are older here, you got to think about things like retirement visas. And one thing is that when you are young, I'm talking about when you, and I've said this before, when you're 22 years old, when you're 24, 25 years old, you really have not lived life. You're in your country, let's say, you know, you're in Denmark, you're in America, you're in Sydney, Australia, wherever you are. And you all of a sudden think, oh, I'm going to live abroad. Now, obviously, if you have money, and you don't have to worry about money. Let's say, you know, your grandma left you a house, you rent it out, you know, you're getting $3 grand a month from it. You've lived off it and socked away money and worked, and so you've got money in the bank. Okay. You're making money from that. Good for you. Then you come over, you do whatever you want. Because my buddy told me about this saying, and people have heard it by now. Do you live to work or do you work to live? And I never thought to myself that I am living so that I can work. And I know some people want to work. They like what they're doing. I liked what I was doing a couple of times when I worked. When I worked in boxing, I loved it. That was the best job I've ever had in my life. And that was about 10 years. I worked as a printer. That was like 12 years or 10 years, something like 11 years. And I liked it, but sometimes I liked it, sometimes I hated it. Sometimes I liked it because I'm printing, everything's going good. You're standing there right at the press, you've got everything done, or you're doing an estimate or something like that. You know, everything's going good. You're like sitting there, you're on top of everything. You're like, hey, what a breeze, baby. I got my feet up, I'm relaxing, everything's good. But then when the machine, you know, takes a dump, one of the rollers is bad. You got paper all throughout it. You've got to clean the thing up, and it's a mess. You've got ink all over your hands, and that's a mess, right? I mean, it's life. But I didn't like it. And most of the time, you're not going to like your job all the time. So if you come over here, why are you coming here? How do you know that Thailand is the place for you if you're 22 years old? You have no life experience. Very little. Yeah, you see, this is what everybody says, Ian. I hate to tell you this. A lot of Thai food is not healthy. For older people eating all this rice that they eat, that's not healthy. Noodles, not healthy. Eating that all the time is not healthy. And a lot of the food, they put sugar in it. They do. You get mu ping. Okay? They cover it up with a sauce. That sauce has sugar in it. You cook an egg, you cook an omelet, right? Kaijio. You cook that up. They're cooking it up in the cheapest oil that most of them are getting the cheap oil. Oil is not that expensive, but, you know, that's just the way that it is. They're cooking it up in you know, whatever kind of oil, soy oil, palm oil, whatever it is. You know, I mean, you say this, but the thing is that a lot of Thai food, pad Thai, not healthy. The noodles are not healthy. The sugar is not healthy that they put on there. And granted, you don't need to put sugar on there. And MSG, thank you very much. So now what I like to do is I like to cook at home. And I'll tell you what, I got the air fryer. I don't care, man. I mean, I get meat, whatever it is. I got right now, I have some, what do you call it? Zucchini. I will slice that zucchini up, throw it in the air fryer for 5 minutes, boom, it's done. I love it. It's fantastic. You're not going to get that out on the street somewhere. It's going to be hard to find. He said if you bust your hump 6 hours a week, if you're going to have a $2 million funeral. I'm not having a $2 million funeral, I can tell you that. Maybe a few friends will see my ashes scattered, and that'll be it. It used to be like, oh, I'm not going to be buried in Thailand. I don't want that. Now I'm like, you know what? That's fine. Keep some of the ashes for, you know, at home, and put some of them somewhere else. I got to think where they need to go. You know. That's all. But I hate to tell you, Ian, many of the Thai dishes are not all that healthy. Now, people can come here and lose weight. I understand that. They can come here and lose weight by not eating as much as they would back home. Also, by walking around a lot and not eating as much as back home. I mean, khao kluk kapi, it's a big thing of rice. There's pork. There's pork, and then there is sausage, right? Okay, the pork and the sausage, fine. It's just meat. But then they put sauce on top of it. The sauce has sugar in it. Now, generally, that is not that bad of a meal with the exception of the rice. And, you know, for somebody who's younger, if they have just a little bit of rice, that's not a bad thing. But for somebody who's older, you know, I gotta tell my wife all the time, I go, listen, cut back on your rice intake, man. You eat too much damn rice. And, you know, that's what they like. You know, you gotta figure that of all the dishes that they make in Thailand, how many are healthy? Not very many. You know, I mean, you might be able to get some things, but really, not much. So that's why, to me, if you live here, or if you're staying here and you have a room that has a kitchen or whatever else, it's easier. You just make your own food. Much easier, and you know what you're getting and you know what you're putting into it. And believe me, I'm not somebody who likes to spend a lot of time cooking. I mean, I can cook a little bit. I'm okay. Sometimes the dishes look great and they taste great. Most of the time, they taste good, but they don't look great. You know, I mean, listen, you don't have to cook also. Get some celery, which is not cheap in Thailand anymore. $2.50, $3 for a little pack. Get some peanut butter with no sugar in it. Excellent. Now, getting back to the subject, just because you're eating celery sticks and peanut butter, carrot sticks, and, you know, whatever else you're eating that's supposedly very healthy, doesn't mean you're going to live a long life. Hopefully, it means that you will live a long life, but it doesn't always. I mean, you know, what's the guy that used to run? Jim Fix. And what was the diet that he came up with? I can't remember, but he was running and just keeled over and died. And he was only, I don't know how old he was. Let me see here. He was 52. Let's see here. Death. He died of a heart attack during his daily run on Vermont Route 15 in Hardwell. Arterial sclerosis had blocked one coronary artery 95%, a second 85%, and a third 70%. Fix was genetically predisposed. His father died of a heart attack at 43. Fix himself had a congenitally enlarged heart and had an unhealthy life. He was a heavy smoker before running at age 36, had a stressful occupation, and had undergone a second divorce and gained weight up to 214 pounds. So, oh my God. Comedian Bill Hicks, who is now dead, frequently made Fix the subject of a stand-up routine, humorously suggesting that Fix's death while jogging should be an argument against exercise. Hicks died from pancreatic cancer at age 32. Wow. But what was the, I thought he came up with a diet. So there you go. You can eat as good as you can, as good as you possibly can, and you're genetically predisposed towards having a heart attack when you're, 52 or 43 or whatever it is. Nowadays, thanks to physical fitness, more people are dropping in perfect health. My thing is, don't just sit on the sofa. That's about the only thing I can say. Don't just sit on the sofa with your feet up all the time and watch TV all the time. I like to do that sometimes, but not very often. And, it's like the end of the night. It might be 8 o'clock and I'm like laying there watching, whatever I'm watching. Right now it's Prison Break. I think you need to stay active. I don't think you don't have to be a bodybuilder. You don't have to be doing all these things, I don't think it really matters. You just got to stay active. You got to hike, you got to walk, you got to swim. Every once in a while you got to do some of these things. So, it's pretty important. Now, when you are older, you have the opportunity to get retirement visas. And I will say, in Thailand, you need to be 50 years old so that you can retire here. Now, I could be wrong, but I think they're going to raise that age to like 55 or maybe even 60. I think they're going to raise the age in the near future. I don't know if they will or not, but I think they will. I don't know what it is. Just call it a gut feeling, but I think they're going to do that. You need to show a monthly income of $65,000 or bank deposit of $800,000, which is not all that much, all things considered. And you have to renew it once a year. Now, if you are a younger person, you got a lot of money. I'm talking about you got a couple mil. You're 24 and your family left you money, or you sold something and made a bundle of money. Okay, you can generally pay your way to stay here. But most people at that age don't have a huge amount of money. Maybe they have some kind of business they think they can work and they can earn money, and I'm earning $8,000 a month or $8,000 a month. So they're earning $8,000 for say 4 or 5 years, and they're like, oh yeah, I got my business is tight. Now, if they were smart, they'd be putting $6,000 away every month, and they'd have a bundle of money put away. That's the smart thing to do. But what happens is after, say, I see people all the time. I cannot believe I see people and I go, he's got 200 subscribers. This guy's been here for 6 months and he's an expert on Thailand. And you know, listen, everybody can have their YouTube channel. I understand that. There's no problem with that. I do have a problem where I go, this guy's 22 years old, he hasn't lived life, or he's 28 years old, or whatever he is. And, well, exactly. There you go, Rick. What's the logic? There is no logic. That's why they might raise it. Thailand does not operate under Western logic. Very important. You know, I mean, think about it. Yeah, exactly. Not that logic has much sway in Thai policies. Exactly that. Now, I don't know because, you know, I think about it, I think what it might do is they might think it's steering more people towards using different options to get an early retirement, such as elite visas, LTR visas, whatever it might be. They might think, oh, well, we can raise more money. I don't understand how they think. I haven't got a clue. To be honest, I really don't have a clue how they figure things out and decide to do things, you know, based on their own. I just don't know what, I don't know how and why they do things. It makes no sense to me. So that's something to take into consideration. You know, one other thing I wanted to say that, you know, this is about, we're talking about growing old and dying. Now, retirement, what retirement, basically to me, what a retirement visa meant was, I'm in the latter portion of my life. And maybe that's because, for them, maybe it's because most Thai men only live to be 72. I don't know. You know, I mean, maybe that's their logic. Well, if you retire at 52, now you got 20 years where you can relax and do nothing. But I do think that, you know, if you're going to retire, holy shit, if you're gonna retire, I would say you do. My thinking is, unless you want to get into a job like you want to be a doctor or a lawyer or whatever it is, and even those jobs, let's say by the time you get out of school, you're 26, 28, and you work for 20 years, you're 48 years old. There's no reason why, if you're smart with your money when you're young, you can't retire by 45 or 50. There's really no reason. So I think it's important that you remember that when you're young. That, to me, that's what the takeaway from young people coming here. I'm like, okay, so what are you doing to sock away for your future? Well, I don't really have that much money. Okay, well then you really shouldn't be here. If you have money, you can buy IEP stock for like $13.50 a share. It pays $4 per year dividend. That's crazy. Well, I don't know that I would put all my money on a particular stock. I don't think I would do that. It would be on stocks, not a stock. So let's just say that you start, I mean, I started saving when I was about 15 years old. I remember by the time I was about 16, almost 17, I had $1,000 in the bank. Now, I didn't keep the $1,000 in the bank. If I had kept that $1,000, just kept that $1,000 in the bank and let it sit there for 40 years, I'd probably be rich by now. I mean, you know, I'd have a fair amount of money. I would never have to work again. And, you know, I would be very fortunate. But I pulled the money out. You know, I was like, I gotta have the money. I gotta have the money. Oh. How am I gonna buy a car, a new car? I gotta buy this. I gotta buy. Well, where am I gonna get that? Little did I know that $1,000 wasn't nearly enough. But if you're smart, you start putting money away. You can retire. And you know, I would say if you're living the life, I know a guy who, he runs a jiu-jitsu school. Now, I didn't know him all that well or anything like that, but the guy retired from formal work. He bought some properties. They went up in value. Boom, he turned around, he sold them, bought more properties, turned around and sold them, and he made a couple $1 million. He stopped working. He was 35, and all he did was he taught jiu-jitsu. And so he got it to the point in a couple of years where people were running his school for him. And he went on a journey around the world. He was riding his motorcycle. He was in Colombia. He was doing all these things. He was on locked up abroad. Not locked up abroad. What is banged up abroad? He was banged up abroad because he got captured by the FARC. The Colombian, you know, FARC. And, hey, Chris, how you doing? Oh, wow. Congratulations. Excellent, excellent. Wow. Morning, morning, morning. You're in Manila. Awesome. Well, I'm still in the coffee shop. You know, I wonder. Earlier this year, I said, at the end of the year, I'm going to stop streaming. Just going to, you know, I'll do things whenever I feel like it. And I'm like, now I'm kind of like, do I really want to stop? Boy or girl? That's what we want to know. Inquiring minds want to know. Boy or girl? If it's a girl, beware. If it's a boy, beware. I'm glad I had two boys, I'll tell you that. We want boy or girl and the name. Oh yeah. A beautiful little girl. Oh boy. Daddy's little girl. Daddy's little girl, and when you get older, did anyone see Scott with Cake? What? Cake's daughter. Her name is Maria. Oh, okay. That's nice. Deborah Harry wrote a song about her. Me with Cake's daughter? I haven't seen Cake in years now. I don't know what she's doing. I do, you know, I'm still in contact with her, but I don't really talk to her much. Her daughter is quite the beauty pageant contestant. Her daughter is, you know, a little dancer, a little singer, cute, you know. I don't know how old she is. She's got to be around 10 years old. I wasn't clueless. I'm married. What are you talking about, man? Joe, how you doing? I'm a married man. You know. Cake was nice. I still think she's nice. Still think she's a nice, attractive woman. But I'm not like so attracted to her I'm like, oh my God. You know, come on, man. I'm attracted to her cooking. Her cooking is good, I can tell you that. Maria. Well, glad to hear it. It's your first? She's your first? Joe, thank you as always. Appreciate it. Give Joe a thumbs up and a heart. You didn't know how to deal with a daughter. That's all I mean. Oh. She wasn't there that much. The daughter was... Listen, I'm not into... I don't have to deal with her. That's the thing. She's not my kid. She's Cake's kid, and Cake is responsible for her. She ain't my kid. I can be like, hey, what's up, Swati Cop? You know, I can do all that stuff. I don't have a problem with that. I think them Cake. You know, I just treat them with respect. They're nice. She's not. Cake is nice. Everybody's nice. They're all nice. Thank you very much. Thank you, everybody. Appreciate it. Give him a thumbs up as well. That works well for me. Thank you, thank you, thank you. No sugar. But, you know, Cake was always really nice, and she always took pride in her cooking. That's what I liked. You know, 5 daughters? Oh my God. Oh my God. Joe, I feel sorry for you, brother. 5 daughters. Oh my God. That means it's 6-1 without any kind of... Right away, it's six women to 1 man. Ah. And not only that, but you got to deal with, you know, all the boyfriends coming home. Ah, Jesus Christ. I just tell my kids to be smart with women and make sure you don't knock them up. And so far, they've been pretty smart. You know. And it was Nicky. Nicky was the player a little while ago. Now he's not the player. And Alex was the one, he never, you know, engaged in anything. And now he's, you know, he's got a friend, a little girlfriend. You know, he's not like the kind of guy who's like, oh, I want to be boyfriend and girlfriend. Oh, we love each other. Oh my God, we got to be so... He's not like that at all. That kid is not desperate at all, man. He's like, I'm taking my time. I don't care. You know. My youngest is 44. Holy Jesus Christ. Oh, eldest is 44. Okay. All right. So you've got through the, you know, the marriage and the guys, and you've got through all that stuff. That's all. Like for me, man, if I had 5 girls and they were all like 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, I'd be like, Jesus Christ. Yeah, I feel for you, man. I think it's much harder to raise women than it is to raise men. You know, men, they're just like a bunch of knuckleheads most of the time. And I think my wife has done a really good job with keeping them grounded. And, you know, I kind of keep them, hey, you know, don't forget you're a man. You got to do this, you got to do that. You know, now I'm going through this. Listen, I go through this with my kids. Alex and Nicholas are both at home now. And I tell them, go to the gym. Alex is like, yeah, we're going to go. Okay, we'll go in a little bit. Okay, so they get ready, they go. They come back, and I'm like, so how'd the workout go, guys? Fine. And I don't hear anything else. So then I'm like, wait a minute. Did you guys work out together? No. Why not? He didn't want to lift weights today. That's what Alex was saying. He just got on the treadmill, and that's all he did was walk. And I'd be like, why didn't you lift weights? Because Alex is a dick. And Alex would be like, why am I a dick? You know, I mean, you can't imagine some of the little bickering that goes on between them. And I'm like, listen, guys, you're brothers. You don't have to love each other in the sense that you love everything that you both do and you're so proud of each other. You don't have to be like that. You do just have to acknowledge that you're blood. Nobody is closer to you than your brother. And then they always feel bad. So, I mean, 2 boys, that's hard enough. 5 girls, ugh. 1 girl, ugh. I'm glad I didn't, well, I mean, I can say I'm glad I didn't have a girl, because I always worry about, like, oh my God, how's she gonna turn out? Is she gonna have some boyfriend from hell? Am I gonna have to beat on this guy? What's gonna happen? How can we teach her to be a prim and proper, nice young lady? You know, I always think these things. And I think if some guy comes to the house and I don't like him, you know, I'm going to scare him off or something. With guys, I don't think that. No, actually, he can't. Nicholas is very strong. Nicholas is a lot bigger than Alex. Nicholas is about 175 pounds, 180 pounds. He's pretty, you know, he's pretty big. Alex is about 140. But Alex is in better shape. He's in better shape. He's much more flexible and limber, and, you know, in that kind of fitness, he's much better off. Yeah, and I think, honestly, I think Nicky, you know, when they used to do Muay Thai, Nicky used to get the better of Alex because he was stronger. But I think overall, Alex is much more fit, you know. Yeah, God knew not to give me girls. Well, that's the thing. You know, I think about it and I go, I could have a little girl and I'd be like, you're not, you know, I would treat her like she's a princess. Guys come near her, they better do it with respect. But I know at the end of the day that she'd just come to me, Daddy, can I do this? Daddy, can I do that? And I'd be like, okay, sure, whatever you want, honey. You need $300? Okay, here you go. $500? Oh, well, okay, you know. And one, jury's still out. Okay, back to baby duty. Don't stop streaming, Scott. We are many that would miss your stream even if we only watch playbacks. All the best. Oh, well, take it easy there, Chris. Congratulations again. All right. So now the members of the stream are having babies and they will grow up to watch the stream as long as I'm alive. I'm growing older, but I'm still alive. Some other things you got to think about while you are growing older here in Thailand is your end of life planning, which I will admit I have not done. Wills and estates. It's essential you have a will in both your home country and Thailand to ensure your assets are distributed as you wish. Thai law may differ from your home country in having a local will and simplify the process of your beneficiaries. Thailand is predominantly Buddhist, and traditional funeral practices may differ from what Westerns are used to, like a burial. Many expats choose cremation, which is more common and affordable in Thailand. That's what I'm gonna have. I mean, my buddy had that done. A lot of people have it done. So, you know, I don't want to have to repatriate all the way to the U.S. and go to I have a free grave from the VA. Once you get there, it's free. Once you are there, once they get you there, it's a free burial. But I don't want that. Why? I get cremated, you know, you put me in an urn, that way I can watch over everything. There are Western-style cemeteries, particularly in larger cities like Bangkok, Pattaya, and Chiang Mai. If you pass away in Thailand, your next of kin will be contacted. If you're unmarried or don't have close relatives in the country, it's advisable to have a friend or lawyer designated for this purpose. I do have a few friends that I kind of worry about because they don't have anybody. You know, they don't really have parents. They don't have people, Jono and Mr. Billy. They don't have people that are going to take care of everything for them. I don't know what they would do. You know, we'll have that conversation shortly as they get a little bit older. Thai culture generally holds elders in high regard. However, as an expat, you may not receive the same level of care and attention unless you have strong social connections or a support network in place. Well, I do. So, fortunately, I think I'll be all right. You just burn me, get my ashes, and, you know, that's fine. While hospice care is available in Thailand, and I did a video a while ago, or a stream, I don't remember, I think it was a video. It's not as widespread as in the West. Some private hospitals and NGOs provide palliative care, but it's important to research facilities well in advance. There are many facilities up in Chiang Mai. There are several. And I mean, I guess if that's what you want, you can have it. If you need it, that's what you can do. So I think you need to know, once you start getting to that age where you need somebody to take care of you. And, you know, we were talking, I think I was talking yesterday about how when you get older, there are certain people that they don't need any help. Then there are people that they need a little bit of help. And then there are people that need, like, around-the-clock care. And at this point, I'm not at around-the-clock care, but I am getting to the point where I need a little help with things, you know. I mean, and right now it's kind of, do I really want to do that? Do I really want to carry that? Oh my God, it's so damn heavy. What am I going to do? No, I get some help. As you age, it may become more challenging to maintain social connections, especially if many of your expat friends return to their home countries or passed away. Finding reliable support network, whether through social clubs, community groups, or online forums, can be crucial to avoid loneliness. Fortunately, I got a wife and I got 2 kids. I don't think I'll be lonely because I'm older than all of them. Many expats hire local caregivers as they get older. Thai caregivers are generally affordable, but language and cultural barriers can sometimes complicate caregiving. Yeah, I don't think I'm going to need that. Maybe my wife will be my caregiver. My kids will be my caregiver. Hopefully, I won't need any care. It'll be one day, you know, I'm 79 years old and I'm laying in bed and tomorrow's my birthday. I have my birthday, have a great day. I go to bed and I don't wake up the day after. I just go to sleep and I never wake up. Now, and this is important. I don't like that. That cold brew is not so good. If you're in the hospital and you pass away, piece of cake. Everything's done by the hospital. They give it to the authorities, and then, you know, whatever is going to happen with you can happen. It's very straightforward. However, if you're at home, they need to do an autopsy. And that's a bit more of a problem. If an expat dies in Thailand, the local hospital or authorities will issue a death certificate. It's important to notify your embassy to assist with the repatriation of the remains if desired, or managing the deceased estate. You know, I don't really know what will happen when I go, and I do think about it. And I'm going to make sure I have certain things in place that need to be in place. I don't think I'm going to, it's not like I got, you know, a couple $1 million sitting in the bank and, you know, my wife doesn't know about it. And, you know, that's not going to happen. Many embassies assist with repatriating remains, but the process can be costly. Yeah, I think it costs something like $17,000 or something. Cremation and transporting ashes may be more of a practical and affordable option. Now, let me see something here. Oops. Wow. They have a repatriation service in Thailand now. Asia 1 International Repatriation. Let me see here. Yeah, the cost to ship cremated remains internationally will be about $300, but the cost to ship a person's body can be $10,000 to $20,000. So I thought it was about 17. I think that's about right. Let's see here. Well, they have the funeral plan for Asia 1. Let's take a look at this one. It doesn't tell you the price. No, it's a prepaid funeral plan, which they don't give you the price. You have to write them for the specifics. Life is, what is this? Life is fixed. So, where was I? Have my ashes thrown into the sea and give my son what I own. Done. That's what the VA has in my will. Life is fickle, of course. Me will vary, simply equal split to my sons and daughter. My 2 ex-wives have had theirs. My ashes in the job right now. Yeah, I'm kind of thinking, where should my ashes go? Maybe I'll make my wife climb, or my kids, climb to the top of, what the hell was the name of that place I went up on? No, it's not Wat Tri Mit. That's in Chinatown. Wat Phu Thong. That was the 7. It's a temple that has 7 levels, and you have to climb up, but you climb on the outside of the temple on the wooden platform. So maybe they could get to the top on the 7th level, and then pour the ashes right up on the top of the 7th level. Hey, Carlos, how you doing? What's happening? You've missed a lively and spirited stream today. We're talking about death, and we're talking about life. Chris came in. He just had a baby girl Maria. And we're talking about raising kids and, all this kind of stuff. Interesting stuff. Let's see here. But, like, if I was going to have my ashes spread out somewhere. Oh, yeah, that's right. The flooding. I haven't said anything about the flooding today. I just said it's going to keep raining and raining and raining. It's going to rain for the next week. But up in the north, it's very heavy. Yeah, very, very heavy. I like the stuffed animal look. I was going to put all these girls, they walk around, they got 2 or 3 stuffed animals attached to their little bags. And I'm like, she's like 38 years old, and she's got a little stuffed animal, like stuffed animals attached to her bag. I don't get it. Anyway, we got other people here. It's very quiet now. When I come back in the afternoon, sometimes I go, usually what I do is, when I'm done here, I gotta go get some groceries, like today. I'm always getting new groceries, and I go over and get some groceries, then I come back. And sometimes, if I didn't have a coffee in the morning, I'll stop here and get a coffee. Sometimes I just walk by, sometimes I just sit down. But a lot of times, There are no seats. This place is full. I can't believe that Willie Nelson is 91. Unbelievable. All right, let me get back to this. Thailand is often considered affordable for retirees, but the cost of healthcare, insurance, and potentially hiring in-home care can add up. Some aging expats choose to return to their home countries due to the rising cost of living and healthcare. Funerals in Thailand can be relatively inexpensive, usually cremation, but it's advisable to set aside funds for this purpose or arrange for a prepaid funeral plan. So, that's something that has to be done. I'm going to sneeze again. Returning to your home country. Man, that last one hurt. Whew. And that was only 6, but I bit my tongue on the last one. Unbelievable. Some expats usually choose, Jesus Christ, do I have to sneeze again, to return to their home country as they get older, especially if they need family support or can't afford long-term care in Thailand. Deciding when and if to return is a crucial decision. That's why you get married. Right, Carlos? You get older, your wife takes care of you. You know, that's the way that it goes here. Your kids take care of you. You know, that's how it works. You telling her to do it on the cheap? Well, I will leave money for that. And she can do it on the cheap. I don't care. Just get a decent little urn. You know, like, and what you do is you carve my face into the side. You know, you like etch it into the metal so that you constantly see me. You see me going, hey. Oh, God. Or you could just tape, you want to do it really cheap, you just tape my photo to the outside of the urn. Yeah, that's the way it is here. Getting older as an expat in Thailand involves careful planning, both financial and socially. But the country offers a relatively affordable and pleasant environment for retirement. As of now, it is inexpensive, it is affordable and pleasant. Yes, now, in another 20 years, some guys might be going, oh my God, I can't believe how much it costs. You know, you don't know. Right now, though, it's fine. I don't know if I'm gonna, well, who knows? You know, who knows if I'm gonna live another 20, 25 years. End-of-life considerations, legal, medical, and emotional, require attention to ensure a comfortable and dignified experience. Yes. Okay. Now, I gotta say this. Where is it here? Let's see here. How do we do? Might been rye, might been rye, might been rye. Those people who say might been rye generally live longer. I wonder if that's true. I think so. People are asking, what is Miping Rye? You got to learn it. You must. You can have your ashes mixed with polyurethane and made into a desk lamp. Oh God. No, thank you. I don't want to be like an inanimate object. Just let me be some ashes in a tightly closed jar, and then maybe like each of my kids and my wife, they go somewhere. Maybe I I make it a journey for each of them. You must go to Bali at the big hill on the side of the temple. Take 5 paces towards the cliff, and then you dump my ashes right there. And then I say, take a trip to the other one. You gotta take a train to here or there, or wherever. You're gonna have to take the train into Vietnam. The train to Laos, take the boat up the Mekong, and then you're gonna take a sleeper bus from Laos into Vietnam, and you're gonna dump my ashes in Hanoi. And then I gotta tell the wife, all right, this is what you do. Take 3 steps outside the back porch, dump them right there. I'd have to think of something like that. I'd have to make it, I gotta make it a little challenging, a little bit of a chore, I would think. I think that's the way you gotta do it. Make it challenging. Anyway. Put it in a hole under a big W. What's the W for? I could just put winning, and I'm right underneath that. This is me winning. I don't know. I just can't see myself being in a grave at this point. I've been here too long. A couple of years ago, I might have said, yeah, I want to be repatriated. Put me in the ground someplace over there. But, now that I think about it, my family is here. My other family is there. But the family that wants to visit me, that's going to be around, is going to be here. So I might as well give them the opportunity. And I've been to a few funerals in my day here in Thailand. And all I'll say is they're not, you don't think of funerals as something fun. And they're not fun. They're just not fun. It's burning or whatever it is, they're just not fun. But it is part of life. At some point, all you guys will be gone. I'll be gone. Maybe my videos will still be up in 40 years. You don't know. My kids will be taking care of them or something. I don't know, And people go, God, he was so old school. He used to think this, he used to think that. It's like, in my day, I grew up, and if I badmouthed my mother or, spoke back to her, back talk, or I did something that maybe I shouldn't do, I got a smack. I did bad in school, I got the belt. It's not like my parents beat me, but that's what happens sometimes. And nowadays, I tell Nicholas, you're lucky you don't get a smack in the mouth. And he's like, go ahead, do it. I'm like, what am I supposed to do? I'm like, I'm not going to do it. I'm like, come on. Different times. Who knows? Everybody will be woke in the next 30 years. You don't know. Hopefully that's not going to happen, but you never know. Yeah, it was leather. It was leather. You know, listen, I talked to Billy. Uh, Billy goes, my mother used to beat my ass. She goes, she'd get a switch and beat my ass with it. So we come from a different time than kids now. A lot of kids now, you hit me. You smack them across the mouth, or you smack them on the butt, and they're like, I can't believe you hit me. They're crying. They're gonna call social services on you. You know. Oh yeah, I mean, I had a couple in my day, but I mean, I think about that and I go, well, that was like 50 years ago. 50 years ago, that's a long time, if you think about it. And I mean, listen, I never blame my parents for it. But if it was me, I would have beat my ass. If I think about how I was when I was like 16 to about 18, 15 to 18, I would have beat my ass. I mean, really. I would have gave myself a beating because I deserved it sometimes. You're like 15 years old and you're smart talking your mother who's going, okay, this is the way that we need to do it. We need to do it step by step, like this, like this, like this. What do you know? You don't know nothing. I'm doing it my way. Oh my God. I've apologized to my mother and father, believe me, profusely. I'm sorry for being such a bad kid. Oh my God. I have done that. I have apologized to my mother and father because I was like, God, if I was, I'm like, I don't know what I would have done if I had kids like that. We are lucky. Bo and I, we are lucky because our kids are pretty good. But like, man, between the smoking weed and other drugs and I want to go here, I want to go there, I'm going, I don't care what you say. And, oh my God, that was just such a troublesome time for me. I'd say from about 15 to about 18. And I left the house when I was like 17. So really, yeah, 15 to 17. God, those were bad years for me. Very bad. And you can't do the things that you used to be able to do back then. I mean, I don't know any parents that beat their kids now, or that smack them or anything like that. I have seen some out in the countryside of Thailand, where a mother gets pissed off at her kids and she just beats the hell out of them, like smacks their ass with a stick or their hand or whatever. And I'm like, oh no, what are you doing? Just talk to the kid, get it through his head. You don't have to beat on him. But of course, it's not my place to say anything, So anyway, you got to make your mind up. Do you want to be repatriated from here? Do you really want to be? You're going to have to pay a bundle of money, and then you're going to have to pay for the plot if you don't have a free plot. Seems like kids are a little bit better here in Asia than in U.S. They behave better. Yeah, I guess. I don't know. I mean, I have seen some times when there were little kids here and their mother and father were sitting at a table. They just let their kids run around in the restaurant, do whatever they want. They're crawling on the floor. And I'm like, what are you doing? But at the end of the day, they weren't that bad. The kids weren't that bad. I don't know. And I don't know. I mean, I'm not in the scene where a lot of kids are like doing drugs. And I mean, when I was growing up, everybody was smoking pot. I don't know what, this guy just walks by and he's like, I'm like, do I know you? Maybe, I don't know. I just look at him and go, but you know, like when I was growing up, man, everybody in high school, almost everybody was smoking weed. And, I mean, you know, I don't know, you know, I guess when you're growing up, you're in the middle of it. And as you get older, you start to see the light, especially like for me, traveling and going abroad has been a godsend for me. Because, shit. Yesterday this happened. I got sore throat and didn't have anything for it. You know, I went abroad. And as I went abroad, you know, you go abroad. I mean, when I went abroad, once I started traveling, I was 17. And I started traveling. I started seeing, hey, wait a minute. First of all, I'm on my own. I got nobody to back me up here. I got nobody gonna, you know, bail me out of jail within 30 minutes if I gotta go to jail for something. You know, I had no kind of support like that. And then I started traveling to, like, you know, the Netherlands and places like that, in England. And I'm like, wait a minute, man. People don't see me as a little kid here. I'm a young man. I gotta have some respect or somebody's gonna beat it out of you. You know, I mean, you don't know. You don't know what's gonna happen. You can get it beat out of you whether you deserve it or not. So you gotta be on your toes, you know? And like, when I was younger, I was like, you know, living in an area where it was very safe. I didn't have to worry about that. Once I went out on my own, man, it was all about fend for yourself. So you're forced to grow up. And even then, I mean, I just think of some of the stupid shit I did when I was young. You know, if you're 20 years old and you're alone, you know, in a bathroom and 3 guys are threatening you, you don't just, generally, you try to get out of the bathroom. You don't try to fight them all. You know, I mean, I did all kinds of stupid shit when I was younger. Barroom brawls, Denny's brawls, you know, getting into fights in Denny's and having the police called, and oh my God. I'm lucky I never got killed or went to jail. Very, very lucky. And I'm so thankful for that. And that's, I think, another thing is that sometimes, you know, you're either lucky or you aren't. Sometimes you do one thing and it's not that bad and you get nailed and you're stuck in jail and you're like, shit, now what? Oh, there's no going home. I'm not going home. I'm going to be here for 2 months or a month. And you're not getting out. Air Force. Yeah, I mean, I'm still friends with how many of the guys? 1, 2, 3. How many do I know that I used to know? How many do I still contact? At least 3. 4. 4. At least 4. And this is 45 years after the fact. We're still friends. We still talk every once in a while. You know, it's kind of cool. Anyway, if you want to grow up and be big and strong and grow old so you can die here, don't get yourself in trouble when you're a young man. Don't crash your motorbike. Don't get into a fight with 4 guys who, you know, they don't care about you. Live to fight another day. Move on and, you know, just live your life. Because you never know when it's going to be over. And I'm always thinking about that. And that's the one thing, you know, I said, the reason that I saw this thing about this woman saying, what happens when people get ready to die? It's kind of surprising. I saw that and I just thought to myself, when is that going to happen to me? Am I going to get that feeling? Is that like a dog or a cat who goes outside and then he decides he's going to go, sit under a bush? He's just going to die. And I think maybe that is what it is. You get those same kind of feelings, those same strong feelings. I try not to dwell on it. It's not like I'm like every minute I'm like, oh God, am I going to die now? No. And then, I'm always thinking about, one thing, I will say this. The one thing that always makes me think about my mortality is I am nowhere near as fit as I used to be. When I was between 17 and about 30, I was in really, really good shape. I was in about as good a shape as you could get into. And now I think of the shape that I'm in. God, I hate even going to the gym. I don't like it. I go and I go, God, I don't want to be here. And then I just go, all right, I got to go through the motions and get this done. I do everything I got to do. Then I'm done. I'm like, God, I'm so glad I went and I'm done. But I really didn't like it. I'd much rather just go for a walk. And even that, you're going to go for a walk and you're like, it's hot out. The weather sucks. I'm going to be sweating my balls off. Do I really feel like going for a walk right now? I'll put it off. You go for a walk anyway. No, don't commit violent felonies. That's a good way to get yourself killed or end up in situations where you don't want to be in them. And I've been watching this show Prison Break. Old show. It's like 20 years old. And I just think to myself, God damn, I'm lucky I never went to prison, man. Very close. It could have been from drugs, could have been from whatever else. I just think it's very good I never went. Because it'll change your life, I'm sure, Don't commit felonies, violent felonies, and be denied visas. Yeah, I know some people get denied visas because of their criminal history. That's never happened to me. I don't have a criminal history, but I know some people who they have some kind of a charge against them, and they still get to travel. Well, unless you feel like flying, which some people, they just think that's the way out, and it's not. But I think about sometimes, some of these guys, let's say you got some guy, he's 80 years old, he's got terminal cancer, he knows he's going to die in, maybe a couple of months or whatever it is, and he doesn't have a huge amount of money. So it's not like he can go out with a bang and, bang all kinds of women and run around and do everything that he wants to do. It's not like he can do that. So what does he do? He takes his own life because that's the one thing that he can have control over. He decides to do a header, and Jesus Christ, can you imagine doing a header in Nana? Go up on the 3rd floor and then do a header, off of some, right in front of a go-go bar, and you do a header into the center of Nana or something like that. Oh my God. You just imagine everything that transpires afterwards. The police coming, the crew coming to scrape you up off the pavement. Having to tell somebody, so-and-so did a header. We've got the rest of his belongings. I don't know how many people. Let me see here. I'm gonna look it up. I don't know if I can find this. Okay, this is 10 years ago. Holy moly. Drive into a wall. American falls to his death from 5th floor of Bangkok's Nana Hotel. Oh, that's from the hotel. Oh, let me see this here. Seven in paydays this year in Pattaya. Yeah, I mean that's a fair amount, but in this, oh, this is September 12th, 2014. A 51-year-old American fled from unknown attacker into the Nana Hotel on Soi Sukhumvit 4 at 5:45 a.m. and fell to his death from the hotel's 5th floor. A man named Kevin, surname removed, ran with blood-soaking face into the hotel, but he would not say who attacked him. He just ran upstairs to the 5th floor and fell down. The man would not even let hotel staff come close to him, and he threw things at the staff when they tried to ask him what happened. Wow. Okay, so it's not still here on the Nation. Did they get a... So anyway, that was, but let me see something here. Let me see if I can get this. I wanna figure this out here. How many suicides in Nana Entertainment Plaza? Oh, what? Why is it conversation not found? Let me see here. Yeah. I would hope that no one thinks that way, but you know, it happens. It ain't gonna happen with me. I can tell you that right now. Let's see here. I keep getting this freaking error message. Let's see here. Okay. Wow. I didn't get any. Wow. No official or publicly available number of suicides specifically. Specific data on the number of suicides at Nana Entertainment Plaza in Bangkok is not publicly available. Suicides in areas like Nep, which is a well-known adult entertainment district, may occasionally be reported in the media, but they are not typically tracked separately in official statistics. Reports of such incidents, when they do happen, often involve individuals dealing with personal or financial difficulties, but reliable, consistent figures are hard to come by. If you're researching this topic for a particular reason, official sources like police reports or local news outlets would be the most reliable ways to gather information. Well, let me see. People have died in Entertainment Plaza. Okay, it's searching. No specific news reports. Holy sheep shit. Well, I don't know. Rana Plaza. I don't know. Doesn't tell me. Nope. Let's see here. Yeah, they don't want that they don't want that stuff out. They don't want the news out. Don't stay in a room with a balcony and patio. They're not all suicides. If anyone believes they are, you're an idiot. I don't think anybody thinks that all of them are suicides. Some of them are, some of them are not. Pathia has more info. Internet review of known foreign cases in Pathia than the first 6 months. 2024. 36 in the first 6 months. Holy sheep shit. Let me try something here. Oh, there is death archives. Jesus Christ. Okay, here, hang on a second. Oh, wow. 5 people died in 5 days in June. That's a lot, man. That's a lot. Oh, these are all the deaths in Kyrgyzstani woman falls to death at hotel in Pathia area. This was yesterday. Oh no, this is 2 years ago yesterday. She had previously filed a report to police over what she claimed was a Chinese gangster who had defrauded her to become a prostitute in Pattaya. Wow. Wow. The woman threw 10,000 baht over the balcony before she fell. Okay, this is 2 years ago. Total deaths in Thailand. All right, we gotta look at this. Does it have total deaths in Pattaya? No, this just tells you Thailand, so don't worry about that. All right, so I'm not gonna look any further. 5 murdered. I think it's referred to as no, it's the Pattaya High Flyers Club. Making sense or nonsense of foreigner suicides in Pattaya. Looking to join the Pattaya Flying Club. Okay, that's different. Holy moly. The start of this month, this is in June of this year. 5 falls from Pattaya condominium balconies in as many days. All were non-Thais, thus boosting the sick joke about about the Pattaya Flying Club being back in business. Let's see here. Why am I not getting internet on my laptop? I don't know what goes on with this. Why is it that I come here and I have problems? Scott, you didn't survive your fall. It would have been reported suicide by fire. Oh, if you didn't survive your fall. Yeah, I mean, I think about it. Jesus Christ. I mean, you know, it's like, I didn't know what else to do. I didn't think there was any other way out. I didn't think anybody, I was like, you bunch of pussies, you're all crying here. You see, they're all crying. They were all crying. They're on the fourth flight. We're gonna die. And I'm like, listen, give me that fucking rope. I'll go down. You bastards. That's what I was thinking. I'm thinking, I'll go. It's not a problem. I'll do it because I want to live. What I should have thought a little smarter. I was a little bit too hasty. Which was, you know, I was a little too stupid. You know, it was more stupidity than gung-ho, being gung-ho. I should have waited until they dropped a bunch of mattresses down on the ground, which is all they had to do. Go in, you get 10 mattresses, you put them out, and people jump, and it will break your fall. That's how it works. I don't know what's going on, but my phone is not working. My computer is not working. I don't know what the hell's going on here. It's like, it just locks up for some reason. Let me see here. All right, maybe it's working now. I don't know. I was very lucky. That's what I will say. I was very lucky to have survived that fall. Because I could have very easily died. And all I remember, to be honest, I just remember I was like this when I hit the ground. Wow. That's all I remember. And my hands blocked my head from hitting the ground. And I popped up in the air, boom, and went on my back, boom, and popped up in the air again. And I don't know how, and that's probably how I cracked my head open. So, I'm waiting on AC maintenance team. They're late, of course. Again? I don't know, man. We got problems with AC. You know, now we're in a holding pattern right now. We got a lot of things going on. The wife's got some things going on at work, and you know, we're trying to go here and go there, you know, and you know, we're trying to fit in time to go see you know, like houses and stuff like that. We just haven't had the time lately. I don't know why, but I mean, I went and saw some a couple days ago, but that was it. Why is this not working? What is going on here? It's just driving me nuts, man. Here we go. And son of a bitch. Anyway. Yeah, I don't know what's happening. I need to restart this computer. Because I got like 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 11 tabs open. Yeah, but didn't you just have it fixed? Wasn't it working a short time ago? Or they haven't fixed it that whole time? I'd go nuts, man. If I didn't have my air conditioning, really, I would go nuts because it's very, very uncomfortable without it. Oh, the living room one, okay. So they might have to fix the other one, which is, okay, I understand that. I don't know what's going on with this. Anyway, all right, well, that's about it, I guess. I wish I could get in here and fix everything, but I can't. I think we've kind of run this subject into the ground, into the grave, or into the urn. But, you know, interesting stuff. Interesting to think about what happens when you're here, if you die when you're here. Getting older, what does it mean? And for some people, it means a lot. You know. I just counted. I have 16 tabs open. Luckily, newer MacBooks handle lots of open tabs easily. Well, this one's almost 10 years old, so I'm not too concerned. Usually I don't open that many tabs, and if I do, I don't have problems, but lately I've been having some problems. So I know fairly shortly, in the next year, I'm probably going to have to buy another computer, which I don't really want to, you know. And now they just came out with the iPhone 16, which I don't know if that means anything. Jesus criminy, you know, I got an iPhone 13. And, you know, oh, you're so funny. You're so funny, 2/4 Korean. This thing is irritating me. Anyway, so thank you very much, everybody, for joining today. I'll be back on Friday, I guess. I don't know if I'm going to stream on Sunday because, you know what? Another big fight. This past week, the show at the Sphere, I mean, it was very cool to see the Sphere. If you don't know what that is, it's a ball in Los Angeles, and they have all kinds. Okay, well, here it goes. It has all kinds of things on it and in it, and it's interactive, so to speak. But the fights, I thought there was only like one good fight, and I thought there was going to be a couple of good fights. Sean O'Malley got beat very easily. Alexis Grasso got beat easily, pretty easily, which I didn't think she was going to get beat. And, you know, Brian Ortega got beat easily, which I did kind of think that might happen. You know, it just was underwhelming for me. To see Anthony Joshua fight, okay. And to see Canelo Alvarez fight an undefeated fighter, and he beat him pretty easily. Man, they show I saw some highlights of him fighting this guy. Man, he is hard to hit. He reminds me of Roberto Duran, because there's a punch coming at him, and he's here, always. That punch comes, boom, he's always here. Then he's around, he's under, boom, he comes with an uppercut. I mean, that guy, you know, the punch comes, boom, he's there. He's always moving, and then he's coming back punching. He really is one of, if not the best fighters in boxing right now. I'll be glad to see him retire because I think he's earned his keep. He's extremely well off. And I used to be like, who's this redheaded Mexican that's fighting? You know, I was like, come on. But now I look at him and I go, man, this guy's a freaking stud. He is a badass. You know, he knows exactly what to do, how to do it. So, anyway, Joshua and Dubois. Daniel Dubois is fighting Anthony Joshua. Which, you know, just the fact that Joshua was fighting after beating Francis Ngannou. And let me tell you something. Francis Ngannou is fighting again. I don't know when. I'm not sure. Maybe it's this week. He's fighting some guy who's from Brazil that's 6'8". He's all muscle. And he knocked out Ryan Bader in like 30 seconds. The very first punch, boom, out, cold. So Ngannou has his hands full, and I dare say if he loses again, I don't know what that means. I don't know what that means for Ngannou. And, you know, very good fighter, but he's earned his money, which is good for him. And so he should be able to get out of the sport intact with his finances and his faculties and all that. I don't know how much longer he's going to fight, especially if he gets beat by this guy. And I don't know that I could bet on Ngannou. I just don't know, you know. So anyway, that's all I got. That's all I have. That's it. So I will see you all on Friday. I got no idea what we're going to do on Friday, what I'm going to talk about. No idea. But that's okay. Sometimes it's okay. So, until next time, I'm Scott. I'm an American in Bangkok. Chok Di Leo Jerken Mai. Thank you, Mr. Billy, for coming in and telling us all about your air conditioner. Appreciate that. Thank you to everybody, especially those who contributed it once again. I appreciate that. So I will talk to you on Friday. Chok Di Leo Jerken Mai.